Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the woods at Lone Pine Tarot. I hope you're having a gentle day or night wherever you are. Today's tarot reading is about asking Spirit to explore something that is making its way towards you, something that you'll soon encounter on your path. It could be related to your home life, your career, a goal you've been working on, a relationship, and, of course, many, many more possibilities. This is a grab bag kind of reading where it's really a fun little mystery as to what will pop out. With that said, let's pick our piles for today. Your pile leaders of choice are here. Over here on the left for pile 1, you have Breathe. In the middle for pile 2, you have Mystical. And on the right for pile 3, you have Adventure. Pause here if you'd like a little more time to choose, but when you're ready, your timestamp is waiting in the description below. I'll see you in your reading. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading on what's about to find its way into your life. And of course, as you recall, you were most drawn to Breathe. Good reminder, as always, especially if you're feeling anxious right now. But yes, that was your pile leader today. So we'll set that over here to the left. And we're actually going to begin with a combination of tea leaf cards and tarot cards. So calling on Spirit for your highest best good. Spirit, can you tell me more about what's making its way into pile 1's life soon? It could actually be multiple things too. I forgot to mention that in the intro, pile 1, but let's see what Spirit wants to say. We have number 1, the Fan, which is romance, celebration, or party. Put that here. Actually, I'm going to put that more towards the middle by the pine cone. And then your other tea leaf for today. We have the chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. Now I'm going to draw a clarifier with tarot on each of these just to see what Spirit wants to say in clarification. So I'll draw those right now. Okay, so for the Fan and the chair that is empty, we have the Fan, 2 of Cups reversed, although that kind of makes me feel like it could apply to both cards, but it was technically for a Fan, so we'll put that up here. And then for the empty chair, we have the Page of Pentacles. All right. So pile 1, you already kind of have 2 things that are entering your life soon, or actually, I think, of course, with chair empty, it kind of feels like something leaving your life, but in a positive way. So let's talk about the Fan and the 2 of Cups reversed first. So the Fan, as it says, is romance, celebration, and party. And then we have the 2 of Cups reversed, which usually means there has been some sort of disharmony recently in a relationship, or there was a broken relationship in some way. Now, I think for those of you, especially if you recently broke up with somebody, because that can mean why the 2 of Cups reversed popped up, or even if it's not romantic, it can be say you had a falling out with a friend recently or someone close to you, even in say family, right? The thing entering your life or finding its way to your life soon is some sort of happy event regarding that. So it could be a new romance, because that is one of the keywords with this Fan card, right? But also celebration and party. I think you're going to find something out where it's you realize even at the time of that lost relationship or that disharmony that occurred, yes, it might have hurt, but it's something to be celebrated, or something that's a party in terms of you'll look back on it in retrospect and realize, okay, that was actually better for me than I thought. So I guess to summarize in terms of what's finding its way into your life is information that will make a broken relationship in retrospect seem as if it was better looking back on it to have lost that, or for that connection to have been left your life than at the time of the separation that occurred. Okay. And on top of that, actually for some of you, this can mean the same thing, because we do have chair empty, which would mean is someone leaving your life, right? And the Page of Pentacles tends to be, as a court card, a person. So the Page of Pentacles as a person is youthful, could be an earth sign in terms of astrology. And on top of that, the Page of Pentacles is someone that is like, you maybe were exploring something career-wise with them, or exploring something with like money-related things with them. And, I also forgot to mention, even if they're not physically youthful, it can mean that they were very young at heart, especially when it came to matters with money and career and whatnot and stability. So it maybe really that's what it was for you, is that you broke this relationship, or someone else broke this relationship with this Page of Pentacles person, hence why, someone's leaving your life, and then we have the empty chair. But then there's something coming along that will either kind of replace that happiness in your life. And then I think on top of that, not just either, but like on top of replacing the happiness in your life of that loss, it will, as I said, you'll realize in retrospect, this was the better path anyways. Okay. And tying that too with your pile leader, remember it said breathe. Like something is going to be a refreshing breath of fresh air for you. It's going to be like, okay, now I can breathe. Now I don't have to worry so much about that. It could be also too, if you didn't lose specifically like a relationship, or it didn't fully break, it could be too that maybe you've had some at least worries about it recently. Like you're worried about this disharmony, in which case I would read it in this situation as still there's something coming along that will make you feel that breath of fresh air relief. Okay. So keep that in mind. That's at least one thing. Or like if you guys are like, for sure, you're like, there's nothing happy that would come out of like that relationship having been broken. It is possible that the chair empty and the Page of Pentacles can mean that at least like someone that fits that Page of Pentacles description, as I described before, is going to fill that chair now that has been empty. So that could be, like I said, a new relationship. It could be, say, someone that is that youthful kind of earth energy, or is an earth sign with the Page of Pentacles, someone who is very exploratory with careers. Maybe they've had multiple careers, multiple jobs, things like that. And there's someone who like likes to try different things. That's another aspect of them I would say is a good like descriptor for a Page of Pentacles. But yes, let's look at your other cards. We'll see what else pops through. We also have this Oracle deck. Spirit, what else do you want to say to pile one about what's finding its way into their life soon? Oh, well, that was quick. That card popped out right away. We have loss. Okay, I think a lot of you did lose a relationship recently. I think that's maybe even some of the energy of what brought you to this reading, because you're like, well, something recently left my life, and now I'm wondering what's going to fill that gap, or what is going to step in energetically that replaces what that loss was before. Some of you, it could even be in terms of loss, like that Two of Cups reversed energy. I'm hearing intuitively it could have been the loss of literally, like, say someone who passed to the other side. It may not have been like a relationship breakup necessarily, which, my condolences if so, if that applies to you, pile one. Like, no fun to lose a loved one, right? We've all been through it. And so my deepest sympathies on that. But once again, even if that's how it applies to you in that way, it's like there's just something new coming along that's going to fulfill that energy and that time that you used to spend with that person. And in that case, too, I would also read the Page of Pentacles as a lot of what's going to fill this time for you is this energy of exploring things that you want to do, doing new things that you weren't able to do before, okay? Like maybe it was, say, one example that comes up in life a lot, like say if you did lose a loved one, pile one, and unfortunately maybe like they, due to their health conditions, they needed a lot of care at the end of their life. Of course you were happy to take care of them, but a lot of times when caregivers, their loved one passes away, then they kind of feel this emptiness of, well, what do I do now? Because so much of your time was taken up by taking care of that person, right? Which, like I said, you were happy to do probably, but there's still that, okay, well, what do I do now? Like, so this time is opening up for you to explore more about what you want to do. Okay. What do you want to do? And I think, too, it could be as well, especially like if it was, say, like a parent you lost, that money from the Page of Pentacles could be like inheritance that was passed down, in which case, of course, you'd be exploring maybe because, maybe some funds came in, right? And so you're able to kind of try new things, do different things, right? Let's look at your main tarot spread, too. We'll see if there's any other separate things finding their way to your life, or maybe even some more details about what that entails. Okay, Spirit, what else do you want to say to pile one about this today? Thank you. Okay, first up we have the Six of Pentacles, Beautiful. And then we have the Six of Swords reversed. Lots of sixes. Maybe 6 has been an important number to you recently in terms of synchronicities. Keep that in mind. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Okay, yes. That makes sense. And then we have in the 4th position, Ten of Wands reversed. Yeah, that makes me think a lot of you, it could have been a loved one that now that they're gone, and when I say a burden releases, as I said, it's not like you aren't unhappy to take care of them, but there is some sort of weight off of your shoulders now, is what they're saying with the 10 of Wands reversed. And I think even increasingly here in the future, this thing finding you releases burdens even more. That's a really good sign to get with that 10 of Wands reversed. And then we have, the Hermit reversed. So what I'm seeing here is a time finding its way to you that is... there's going to be a bit of delay at first with this. Of course, number one, I think a lot of this requires emotional processing first, especially if the wound was quite fresh, like the loss or the broken relationship, however that resonated with you at the very beginning, pile one. Because we do have the Six of Swords in the 2nd position reversed, which can mean that we're having some delays with trying to get somewhere. We're having some slowdowns in terms of maybe you're even literally trying to move, because the Six of Swords can mean moving, right? But reversed, it can mean like, we've had some delays with that. We're having some struggles. Maybe it's like getting everything ready for that process, closing up ties behind before you move somewhere else and whatnot. Also just emotional too. It can be that as well, like just processing and healing from all that. And I think too, a lot of you, if this was inheritance, maybe some of the delay was related to like the Six of Pentacles in terms of like making sure everything was equally distributed. When someone does pass on, a lot of that process is, making sure their will is enacted the way that they wanted it to be, making sure everything is fair in terms of legal things, right? And also too, I think you might have just taken some time for yourself to take care of yourself, right? After either the breakup or after the loss of this person, you just wanted to make sure that in terms of your mental and emotional health, there were some, that, your T's were crossed and your I's were dotted, okay? Just making sure everything is time to breathe, too, with the breathe card that you picked. And then, too, there might have been some delayed efforts with the Nine of Pentacles reversed in terms of, and this might be related to the things that you're trying to explore, because the Nine of Pentacles reversed can mean that presently, in the present position being the middle card, that you're having some struggles with, like you put effort into something and it's not quite bearing fruit yet. Just like this figure is, he raised the melon patch. And when it's reversed, it's like, the melons haven't necessarily come yet. Doesn't mean that they won't come, but there's still just a little bit more effort needed there, or time to let them grow and let everything kind of come to its fruition in order to make this go forward. However, especially too, maybe some of you have been asking, why has there been so many delays? Why has this been taking so slow? Because maybe it feels like a lot of it has been out of your control. The answer was because there was time needed for you to heal from this separation or this breakup, whatever it might be, this loss, right? And there was something too about needing greater fairness to yourself with that Six of Pentacles, of course, once again, being the first inciting incident card of this spread for you today, okay? So you needed that fairness to yourself, that mental health, emotional health, healing. But the beauty is that you're very soon on the cusp of this finally releasing from you in terms of the burden, because in the next position you have the Ten of Wands reversed, which I find is interesting because literally this particular depiction is a tree growing out of a skull, like literally something growing out of the death of somebody. So I think a lot of you did lose someone, especially because of that. And then of course like the loss card, which is more obvious, but it does feel like that for a lot of you. So I think your energy will be picking up. That's another thing finding its way to your life soon, is more energy in terms of, emotional health, in terms of mental health, and, more get up and go. Because it's very natural after we have a loss or separation of some sort. Of course, our energy is not going to be what it was. We're not going to be working at full capacity batteries, so to speak. So that releases soon. More energy is finding its way to you. Less burdens will be on your shoulders, okay? And then the Hermit reversed as the final outcome is interesting because it's more about coming out of our shell. There's more opportunities after this too, where it's like more connectivity with others is finding its way to you. Maybe you've been kind of in that little hermit shell for quite a while because you've been healing and you just kind of wanted to take time to process independently. Especially too for those of you where this is like a romantic relationship, maybe you've been kind of waiting on getting back out there in the dating game, which, you know, of course, I mean, you could hear many, many stories from different people how dating is like nowadays. Not always the greatest. No wonder maybe you've been a little hesitant. I guess it depends, but you know what I mean? Because it's scary to put ourselves out there again after a time of separation and healing and whatnot, because we think, you know, will we find the one again? Will we find, you know, somebody? Or, like I said, it could be a loss, too. Maybe you've been kind of in your shell just because of grief, too. Either way, I mean, you come out of your shell more. There's more opportunities for that connectivity, as I said. There's more about, like, not being so stuck in some way. And that's the other thing, too, I find interesting, because the Six of Swords reversed earlier said that there's, like, a feeling of stuckness and not being able to move on or physically move. But then the Hermit is, like, the reversed, at least, is, like, the opposite of that, of, like, okay, now we're let out of the cave. The Hermit's let out of the cave. We can finally move forward, and we feel this relief of, okay, now I have broader horizons. There's more room to move. There's more, you know, there's not such a heavy focus on just the bubble around us, because now we have the energy to focus on outside of us more again. Okay. I just will do one last little card pull here of if there's anything else Spirit wants to say of what's finding its way to you too. Because this is more kind of an internal journey that's finding its way to you here, pile one. Obviously, yes, there's opportunities to explore with, you know, money, career, and stability, those things that we saw with the Page of Pentacles, but, and Burns releasing, that's good too, but anything else they want to say? We have the Knight of Cups reversed, and look at that, you got the Hermit reversed again. Okay, for sure, there's more time and opportunity coming your way in terms of being able to get out there again and having the energy to do that. You see that emphasized twice because you got the Hermit reversed twice, pile one. So it could also be some advice too, like don't be afraid to push yourself out there a little bit more. I know it's scary. I know if you haven't done it for a while, sometimes it's really easy just to stay in that little turtle shell, but you're being encouraged that way. And then too, with the Knight of Cups reversed, that could be part of that advice as well, where right now you might not be feeling necessarily like wanting to take action in terms of your emotions or like romantic feelings, things like that, but you're being encouraged out of your shell. And then we have, okay, yeah, so the Sun reversed, pile one, is probably like a depression of some sort. You've been kind of miring under a deep sadness, as we were saying, a lack of joy, or two, it could also be a lack of feeling of that we know truth or that we don't have enough information, because the Sun is about shedding light on things. So when it's reversed, it's like, okay, the light's a little blocked in terms of both joy and, as I said, truth. So you're encouraged to keep seeking. You're encouraged to heal. Yes, make sure you heal first, because that process is important, and it's important to honor the healing of your soul and let it take the time that it needs, yes. But at the same time, you're being encouraged to come out of your shell more, take some more action with, you know, your emotions and relationships with other people. And that might help reverse that Sun right side up too. To help you find that joy that maybe right now is kind of out of balance with the Sun reversed, okay? So beautiful. More time to breathe, or a period of life that's allows you to breathe more. Also remember the parties and celebrations thing with the fan. Maybe that's why you're coming out of your shell so much. Maybe you have a social gathering coming up soon, pile one. Let me know down in the comments below if that applies to you, because with the fan plus the two Hermits reversed, that makes me think, okay, someone's going all out, and maybe you're even going like a vacation. That could also be the Six of Swords as well, because that's about literally taking like physical journeys somewhere sometimes too. So things like that. And I think too, if you are going on a vacation, that is important to your healing as well. I'm hearing it's that you're being encouraged to move beyond the little cave that you've been kind of healing and hiding away in, understandably so, but they're saying that will help more good things find their way to you as well. Okay? Beautiful. So that was a reading today on what is about to find its way into your life. To summarize, the ability to explore more with financial opportunities or career. We talked about more socializing, celebrations, happiness after a time of loss and sorrow, and maybe even like relationship breakups, things like that. Loss of a loved one too could have been one interpretation as well. And yes, greater mental health, greater emotional health, things kind of coming to a natural, gentle recovery. Okay, beautiful. So I hope you liked it. I hope it resonated. I hope it helped you, number one. If so, please like, please comment, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as I always say. And thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those three things as your reading draws to a close. Wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night, Pile 1. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile number 2. Welcome to your reading on what's about to find its way into your life. And of course, as you recall, you were most drawn to the beautiful card of Mystical. So we'll slide that to the left and begin with a combination of some tea leaf cards and tarot cards. Let's draw those now. Calling on Spirit for your highest, best good. Oh, that was not a good shuffle. We'll try that again. There we go. That was better. Shuffling problems aside. Spirit for the highest, best good of Pile 2. What do you want to tell them about? What's finding its way into their life soon? Okay, that one might have flipped over. No, it did not. Okay. Thought I saw one flip over. I was going to take it, but it didn't. So we have Diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Well, that's very positive. Put that up by the pine cone. And then we'll see what your other tea leaf is next. A gift of some sort. Receiving or giving, as it says. And then the second card today is the Egg. Success assured with good plans and hard work. Well, very positive right off the bat for you, Pile 2. I'm happy to report you got a gift coming, most likely, or one that you'll be giving someone will go very well. One of the two. And success assured with good plans and hard work. Something that you've been planning a lot for. Something that you've been working very hard on. But of course, we'll draw some clarifiers. Okay, Spirit. Using tarot now. Clarify each one, please. Thank you. Okay. And that one fell this way. We have the Queen of Pentacles with the gift. The diamond, I should say. Wonderful. And then with the Egg, we have... Oh, interesting. We have our partner, the King of Pentacles, reversed. Normally would be negative, however. We will read it in tandem with the meaning of the Egg. So, first off, we have the Diamond receiving or giving a precious gift, Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is energy, Pile 2, is more about internal security because of its feminine attribute. It's more about feeling like we have enough, feeling comfortable, feeling as if we are secure in some way. So I'm going to say, number one, you almost kind of have two things finding their way into your life soon. And well, in fact, there might even be more with the other cards, but just for now, so far, we see two. Number one is this gift. If it's a gift that you're giving and you're recognizing it right now as a gift that you bought for someone or made for someone in terms of it's meant to increase their security or comfort, it's going to go over really well. It's going to be great. If you're like, well, I'm not giving a gift like that right now, what's going on? That probably means, Pile 2, that that's a gift you're going to receive very soon. So it's a gift of security, something that makes you cozy and comfortable. Could even literally be just like a blanket or something, or, you know, a nice sweater that makes you warm, things like that in terms of like, you know, more tangible, mundane things. But could also be a gift that's intangible that makes you feel secure and cozy. So keep that in mind. That's number one. Number two, with the Egg and the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay. There's something recently, or even over a longer period of time perhaps, where you feel as if you have not been finding good success in terms of money, in terms of career progress, whatever is earth energy externalized because of the King of Pentacles, and especially because he's in reverse. It means we've been struggling in this area when he's reversed. So maybe like you've been struggling at work, or you've been struggling with some sort of financial thing. If you've been working very hard and you've been planning very well, This is basically saying what's finding its way into your life soon is success with that thing. Okay? It's almost like a nest egg. I think that's the phrase people use. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think people are like, oh, we have like a nest egg. Like it's something as like a backup kind of amount of money or security that we have for something. At least that's the way I've heard that phrase used. Okay, or like putting away money for a rainy day. I guess that's another phrase people use too. Either way, it feels something along those lines where it's going to help that problem that you've been having with the King of Pentacles reversed energy. It's going to make that lack of external security feel less. You're going to find success with something in that area very soon. Okay? Your hard work and your planning will pay off. Let's look at your next cards though, because I'm curious to see if they'll add more things finding their way into your life soon or expand upon these two. And I think that's why mystical, you might have been drawn to that as your pile leader because you have been working very hard on trying to like manifest something. You've been putting together like the ingredients, like I almost kind of see it like, think of a fantasy story for a second, like someone putting ingredients together for a potion and you're like, okay, I'm hoping this works this time. I'm hoping that like this is the exact recipe I need for something. I don't know. I guess that's how I see mystical, or like that's what's intuitively comes up when I think of it. So it's like, finally that potion like tinkering is paying off for you. All right. And then we have the card of self-love, a little bit more of an internal thing here with number 47, nature spirits, self-love. Well, that's very related to the Queen of Pentacles because she is kind of a self-love figure too because, well, she is secure with herself internally, right? That's her stable earth energy in terms of how it connects to her heart. But on top of that, I think maybe recently you've been going through a time of like struggling with self-love. Maybe you were mad at yourself for something, or perhaps like you were finding a lack of progress thus far with this egg situation. And you were like, man, I wish what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Like you're just mad at yourself, or like maybe you made a mistake and you're like, oh crap, like that cost me money, or like something along those lines. You know what I mean? Take it as it resonates. But either way, pile two. You're entering a period of time here of greater self-love and also working on it too. That could be literally some of the gift coming to you in an intangible way is a gift of self-love, something that will help you feel greater self-love within yourself. Let's see what your main tarot spread says though. I'm very curious because that will offer more details as it always does. It's like hugging yourself in that picture. Like, thanks me. It's probably your hard work that you've been putting into this thing, pile two. Like, thank you, past me, for taking care of future me. Thank you. Maybe it's a gift from yourself, too, pile two. That could be part of it. Maybe you are receiving and giving it. Maybe it's your past self gave it to you in the future. So that in that case, it might be that these are the same thing, but we'll keep going. Okay, I already know what card I want to pull from the bottom, because this one is, like, poking my hand. We have the Six of Wands reversed is the first card. Yes, so this is like the inciting incident. This is kind of what's like the energy leading up to this point, pile two. It tells me that you've been feeling a lack of victory recently. What started this whole arc in terms of your story or the path that you have been walking is, I'm not winning. I feel like I'm losing. It's those kinds of sensations and emotions. And on top of that, it also feels like a lack of public acclaim. That can also be one interpretation of this card. And it's kind of like that King of Pentacles reversed where, especially if it was maybe related to career or like success with money or security, you might have felt maybe like down on your luck, or you felt as if maybe people were judging you, like maybe you wanted to win more in life. You know, because sometimes when we feel as if we're not winning in life, we feel like other people are judging us, even when they aren't, but, you know, we get self-conscious. And I think that's why, too, this self-love message is so important for your particular reading today, is because it's like Spirit is also telling you to give yourself greater self-love. You haven't been failing because you're flawed here, pile two. It's just that it took more time for these good plans and hard work to pay off with like the egg card that we talked about. Okay. And then we have the Three of Cups. Something with social situations and friend groups. Let's see what the next card is before I expand on that more. And then we have the star reversed, okay, which is your present position. That can mean that you were fearing judgment from others here in the recent past, or maybe you literally did receive judgment from others, which, you know, never fun. Pile 2, my condolences if that has been plaguing you a bit recently. Like, especially when you're already down in your luck and then someone says something and that's snippy or whatever, or judgmental, you're like, I really didn't need to hear that when I'm already down on my luck or I'm struggling, right? That could be where the 3 of Cups energy comes in, especially tied in with the 6 of Wands reversed and the star reversed next to it. And then we're in the star reversed, or you have it in your present position, which means right now you're not feeling so hopeful or faithful for something. You've been praying for it, you've been hoping for it, but so far the signs have seemed as if this is never going to pay off, or this isn't going to work out, or that thing I wanted is just not meant to be mine. It's those kinds of sensations. It's like we had a dark night of the soul and we've been waiting for that light to finally come through, pierce the darkness, come like the dawn, and it's been so delayed that we feel as if, okay, is dawn actually ever coming? That's that feeling of the star reversed, okay? And then, yes, the 3 of Cups is that social energy. It's like maybe groups of people have, or maybe it's even like a whole group of people you've been working with on something towards this success, and like you all have been having issues and failing too. Because maybe it's, I don't know, like a small business you started together, or like a project at work that's been like group oriented, which, I mean, most of them are. You need more than one person for most projects, right, at work, but... And it feels as if, like, this is going nowhere. Like, I'm feeling and seeing intuitively, like, the feeling of literally, like, wheels in mud just spinning and spinning and spinning around, not gaining any traction. I feel like that's part of the really prominent energy, or the way that you've been seeing this thing so far. You're like, why is there no solid ground to actually gain traction with this? I feel like there's nothing that my wheels are gripping onto. Okay, that's... that sensation, okay. But let's look at your other cards. We have, for the 4th position, wonderful, the 7 of Pentacles. And the 7 of Pentacles is really good in terms of starting new business projects, starting new financial things. I think this means very soon is when this success is coming, pile 2, okay? Because it's about... I mean, sometimes, too, it can remind us to have patience with new projects, which I think that's part of, you know, when I was saying before, it feels like this has been really delayed, hence why you might have been losing hope or faith in it. Spirit is reminding you, yes, patience will pay off. That's another really prominent theme of the 7 of Pentacles. And on top of that, as I said, it's a good time to start new financial business things. I think that's probably, too... like a good sign that it'll finally start taking off at that point very soon. Okay. And then in the final position, we have, interesting, the Empress reversed. I think that actually might be some advice for you. And it might be a prediction for what you're going to work on after that point, pile 2. Because remember, this is very similar to your self-love card. Because, I mean, sometimes the Empress can be a card of nurturing others. It can mean, you know, creating things, which, I mean, obviously, if you've been working on a project, you have been trying to nurture and create something, of course. But sometimes when she's reversed, it means we haven't been nurturing something enough or too much. Sometimes we can mean we've been smothering something. So number one, I'm hearing the first message with this is, as some advice, when this success or this first takeoff finds its way to you, don't smother it. Don't neglect it, which I don't think you would, but don't smother it either. Don't, you know, I mean, it's almost like, you know, like say you've been trying to plant a garden, right? And it's been taking so long for these seedlings to pop out of the soil, and you're sitting there waiting, looking at, like, you know, looking at your watch, like, when is this going to come about? And then finally at that 7 of Pentacles point, ooh, a seedling pops out, and you're like, oh my god, this is great. I need to baby the crap out of it because I've waited so long for it to come. If I don't baby it, it's gonna, like, go to ruin, okay? And then so maybe you water it too much. Maybe you give it too much sunlight. Maybe, you know, you, pat the earth around it too much. Anyways, gardening metaphors aside, I guess is what I'm trying to say. With that project, you might try to smother it too much because you're like, oh my god, it's finally here. So just take a balanced, moderated approach to it. And on top of that, speaking of smothering or not nurturing enough, that's, as I said, tied to your self-love message here, pile 2. You also need to remember to take care of yourself and give yourself love as it takes off, because it might take off to the point of like you are so focused on it and happy, which is great, that however you neglect your self-care because you're like, okay, finally my train is here, I'm going to throw myself so hard into this, you know, thing because finally it stopped at my station that, you know, screw myself. I just, self-care comes later, self-love comes later, I'm going to just nose to the grindstone and burn myself out. Okay, be aware of that extreme as well. Okay, so just keep a moderated balance both with the project or the goal and with yourself here in the near future of, okay, don't forget to nurture yourself, and then when the thing comes along that's the good success, right, seedling finally pops out, don't smother the crap out of it. Okay, just pace yourself. Take time for mental health, physical health, mental health, emotional health as well, of course. And that will get you where you need to go. And that will bring it to its greatest fruition. Okay? I'm trying to think if there's any other questions I would ask. I'm going to do just one little final mini question at the end here for you. I'm going to ask Spirit, Spirit, can you tell me about more of like the nature of this success too? I mean, I know it's kind of like a thing finally starting that they've been waiting for. We did discuss that, but I'm just curious. Well, that's really great. The nature of your success is literally like the greatest fortune card in the entire tarot deck. So that's wonderful, pile 2. It also means it's fated for you. It was meant to come at the time that it did. So that's another reason why they're saying be patient. Your patience will be rewarded because it came at a divine timing sort of thing. Okay. Also, great fortune. Wonderful. You got the Wheel of Fortune upright. And then we have the Two of Swords reversed, which can mean it's almost like you no longer have to make a choice of some sort. Like it's almost as if maybe before you had to keep making like, well, I can either do this or I can either do that because I only have the funds to do one or the other thing. Or similar examples, take it as it resonates. And this means that you no longer have to make that choice. There's no longer a stalemate. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the Nine of Wands upright, actually, not reversed. And that means, my friends, your determination will pay off. Yes, you've been battered and bruised. He's been fighting a war. Look, he's got a patch and like a bandage on his head and his arm. And yes, it's been difficult. It feels like you've been surrounded on all sides with 8 other wands around you. However, this means you're going to make it through. It's going to make it through. You're going to be fine. There's great fortune. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune. Also, the egg is great. And, of course, the diamond. But, yeah, I mean, so you pile 2. It seems like your thing finding its way to your life soon is the fruition and success of this one project. It kind of seems like pile 1 had, like, kind of some separate things. But you, I think it's, like, this one really big success that is pivotal to your life path here in the near future. Okay? Just remember, though, don't forget, don't neglect yourself. I know you'll be tempted. You'll be like, oh my god, the thing came. Who cares about sleep or eating or whatever ways you might neglect yourself, right? Give yourself at least maybe like half an hour a day of self-care. Something like that. Don't forget it. Make it an important part of your process with this when it takes off, because otherwise you might burn out. Not so good. But other than that, great things. So that's what's finding its way to you soon. Or finding its way into your life, I should say, hence the title. I hope the reading, well, I'm pretty sure you probably liked it because it's good news, right? But I always say I hope you liked it, and of course that you felt helped in some way. That's the most important thing, and that it resonated. And if so, please like, please comment, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much if you choose to do those things here, pile 2. I'm very grateful for your interaction and feedback and your following and all that good stuff. So yeah, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye, pile 2. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading on what is about to find its way into your life. And of course, as you recall, you were most drawn to the wonderful card of adventure for your pile leader today. Now, let's put that card over here to the left. And we're going to begin with a combination of tea leaf cards and tarot cards. So, calling on Spirit for the highest best good of pile 3 today. Could you tell me a little bit more about this thing finding its way into their life soon? Tangible or not? Okay. So your first tea leaf today, pile 3, is boat. Oh, wonderful. We have money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. Very good right off the bat. Wonderful. Money or inheritance, or property, a winning or windfall. And then for your second tea leaf, we have all right, I'm feeling drawn to the one in the back more. Ooh, sunrise. New creative ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. Lots of wonderful things are finding their way to your life soon, pile 3. I am very happy to report. Of course, we'll grab some clarity, or clarifier cards, I should say, on each one, but wow. Spirit, what else do you want to say about these wonderful things? And I almost wonder, pile 3, if that's why you were drawn to adventure as your pile leader, especially because of the phrase new ventures and like a fresh start with the sunrise card. It almost makes me think of the Fool in tarot, like a new beginning, some sort of new chapter is starting as well, a new journey, something along those lines. Okay, with the boat, we have the Page of Swords reversed as the clarifier. And with sunrise, we have, ooh, wonderful, the Eight of Swords reversed as the clarifier. Now, the Page of Swords reversed on the boat is interesting, because typically that would be negative, but such positive phrases are associated with the boat that it does change the negativity of the Page of Swords reversed. Okay, so looking at them together, let me think 1 second. Oh, that's what it means. Okay, it finally clicked. Spirit was like, this is what it is. So what it is, pile 3, is that this money or property, whether you get it through inheritance, winning, or windfall, as the card says, it is coming to you in a way that you completely just didn't plan for, or that like wasn't really explored or communicated to you is a really good phrase to use, especially with the Page of Swords, because swords energy in tarot is about air, which is, the mind. It's about logic. It's about communication too, right? It's something that almost seems nonsensical, hence the Page of Swords reversed, or it comes about, I'm hearing the word abrupt, like you really just, it comes out of left field. You're not expecting it. Like, I don't know if it's like a surprise inheritance or if it's more you win some sort of money, as I said, but either way, it kind of, I don't know, yeah, they said abrupt. You're just not expecting it, and it's confusing. That's another really good phrase to use with the Page of Swords reversed, but that doesn't necessarily mean, of course, that it's a bad thing, because, right, yes, it's confusing, but it's like happy confusion. You're like, what? I mean, it could even be literally as small as finding, some money on the ground tomorrow, or something as big as, like I said, inheritance or like a big winning, but either way, really positive card there. Okay, or 2 cards, I should say. And then over here on the right with sunrise and the Eight of Swords reversed, we have you. It can resonate in 2 different ways, I'm hearing for you, pile 3. For some of you, if you have been recently feeling a sense of creative block, like writer's block, artist block, what have you, or you just feel as if you've not been able to come up with new ideas, especially creative ones. Part of what's finding its way to your life soon is a freeing from that mental prison, freeing from that block. That's what the Eight of Swords reversed energy implies, okay? And then on top of that, especially connecting with your adventure pile leader, this is what I was saying before, new ventures and a fresh start. You're freeing yourself from something as well soon, or something's coming along that will be the key to freeing yourself from some sort of trapping or like mental prison energy that's been going on in your life recently. Now, for all of you, that could be so different. I mean, it could be maybe you felt kind of trapped in an old chapter of your life, or you've been trapped in like an old job and you've been looking for a new one while you're still at the old one, or it could mean like you have been trying to move somewhere and you're still kind of stuck at the old place thus far. But what's finding its way to you is this opportunity or this chance, something coming along, whatever you might call it, that allows you that doorway, just like your adventure card shows, of this new venture, this fresh start, that frees you from what was stifling or blocking you before. Okay? So wonderful. Might find some money or property. Might find some freeing energy as well. Let's keep going. We have another oracle deck to look at for you from the Ask Your Guides Oracle today. I haven't used this one in a bit. I was drawn to it though. Spirit, what else is finding their way to pile 3? Or let's expand on the 2 things so far. We have, overthinking. That might actually be expanding upon the second message here, especially for those of you that have been dealing with creative or like mental blocks recently. A lot of you might have been going through like overthinking or a lot of anxious, nervous thinking related problems. Like maybe you've been wanting to start something new, hence the sunrise, but you've been overthinking it. You've been like, I gotta plan this. Oh, should I really do this? Or what about this thing? Do I have all my, my T's crossed and my I's dotted, whatnot? And so it's that mental air energy. Speaking of the Page of Swords reversed and both, the Eight of Swords reversed too. Both air energy cards being swords. It's air energy out of balance, okay, pile 3. And so, maybe that's why too the Page of Swords reversed came up as well. Like maybe you're the Page of Swords too, because sometimes the court cards can be people. You've been the one overthinking. You've been hesitant to explore something new because of this overthinking. And that can pause us for so long. We can get so stagnant when it comes to opening new doors because we're like frozen in place is the phrase I'm hearing. But then you're freed because of that Eight of Swords reversed. And on top of that, I wonder if some of this actually, like I know before I said these might be 2 separate things finding their way to you, but I almost wonder if they might be the same and or like connected. Like you're the one that's been overthinking about doing this new thing, but then this windfall or like money property thing comes about, and that's exactly what unlocks the door of this Eight of Swords reversed energy to start the new for you. Like it's like, well, now you no longer have that thing blocking you. You no longer have that reason to overthink. And so now you're just like, okay, now I can go. That worry is relieved, or at the very least, it's minimized to the point where now you feel comfortable actually starting this new journey and walking towards it. Okay. I mean, no wonder why you were drawn to adventure, because literally it's like her on the cusp of a new adventure or journey because she's right about to walk through that door. You're being given that open door to walk through pile 3. Okay. And then let's look at your main tarot spread. Tarot of the Divine today. Very beautiful deck. Well, that was not a good shuffle. I'm going to try that again, pile 3. I apologize for the wait. There we go. That one was better. Nothing wrong with an extra shuffle, right? Okay, Spirit, what else do you want to know? Or want them to know, I should say, of what's finding its way into pile 3's life soon? We have, first up, the Three of Swords as the beginning inciting incident card. Once again, we have air energy in the negative, pile 3. And speaking of 3, there you go, you got Three of Swords. And especially as the inciting incident card, that can mean what spurred this whole arc of your this chapter of your life, or like this part of the path of your life, is a pain or a heartbreak of some sort. Okay. And or maybe the reason you've been overthinking is because of a fear of pain as well. Like that's usually why we overthink things, because we're like, uh-oh, we want to mitigate all potential fallouts or all potential mistakes that could be made, right? And so either way, no matter what the pain was, it's, well, I wonder if for a lot of you too, what made you want this new beginning or what spurs you to wanting it is because there's a pain that you're finally moving away from too. Like say if it was a job that you're trying to leave because it's been painful, right? Speaking of the Three of Swords, like that is one example of pain spurring you to do something different, right? Either way, that's kind of what Spirit is saying and identifying as this is the beginning of this journey towards this new door. And then we have the Nine of Wands reversed. Okay. And then we started feeling like we were running out of steam. Okay. Running out of steam. We feel like maybe our boat or our ship has already passed. Or like we missed our train, so to speak. We feel as if like we don't have the energy anymore to do this, or like there's no more fuel for this particular thing that we were trying to accomplish. So no wonder maybe like that's another reason why you may have been overthinking too, because you thought, oh God, did I miss my chance? Oh God, did I, what if I need this? Or all those kinds of second guessing questions that we ask ourselves. And especially too with the Page of Swords reversed and then now with the Nine of Wands reversed, it's maybe you were trying to find some sort of energy or fuel for this thing, and that's what ran out. It could be money, literally, like money, of course, does fuel certain ventures or projects, but it could be other things too, pile 3. Let's keep going. And then we have, okay, yes, in the present position, the Chariot reversed. Makes total sense. Right now, that means that the feelings that you've been kind of stewing in are a feeling of, I've lost control of this thing. I feel like I can't drive this in the direction that I want it to. And then, too, for some of you, this is a very specific message that might not resonate with everyone, but if it's, say, related to moving somewhere, like new job, new living situation, the Chariot reversed can mean that we've had delays with moving somewhere. Okay. So that might be why you're feeling all of this, but let's look towards the future. We'll see advice and predictions. We have the Nine of Cups reversed. That might be a bit of a piece of advice, but let's look at the final card before I say for sure. And then we have Judgment reversed. Look at all these reversals today, pile 3. You've got 4 of them. Well, and then the other 2 cards were too, except the Three of Swords was the only one upright. So this is probably some advice. I'll tell you this. Based on these tea leaves, yes, you are freeing yourself and you will be able to embark on this new journey. That's what's finding its way to you, especially too with the money, with the windfall winning thing that we talked about, inheritance. However, there is a risk here, and actually let me pull a clarifier. There is a risk here of you waiting for the absolute highest definition of what your wishes fulfilled would look like, stopping you from going when things are good enough. Does that kind of make sense? Because normally upright, yes, okay, that makes sense. Normally upright, the Nine of Cups would mean you're going someplace that is like a wish fulfilled, or it's a place of luxury and emotional satisfaction, especially. And normally I would read that reversed as like, okay, that would mean like in a regular prediction, like, oh, you're not going to get there. But because of the Boat and Sunrise, you're getting there. But you're overthinking what good enough is. You're getting this opportunity, pile 3. The only risk is that at the time it comes along, you might be like, well, but what if it isn't good enough? Should I wait for something better to come along, or a better opportunity, time, greater amount of money, finances to start this thing? The answer is no. Do not let the vision of perfect get in the way of the tangible good in front of you at that time. Okay, that's just one little piece of advice and warning Spirit has for you today with this. And they did clarify it with the Ten of Swords reversed. It might be because you think, like, it's either betraying yourself or betraying your vision if you don't wait for, like, the absolute, like, perfect variation of what you're going for, okay? It also means, too, that, especially the Nine of Cups reversed with the Ten of Swords reversed, that, like, I don't know, I think a part of you too deep down thinks it's almost too good to be true when it comes along. And so it might lead to, like, self-betrayal by putting it off and waiting. It's just that overthinking thing getting along again. And so when it comes along, don't overthink it, just do it. Okay, just to summarize everything. And then the Judgment card comes along, which is kind of reversed as sort of a similar message of advice, because it can mean that we're reluctant to go to the next level of something, or maybe too we fear negative judgment. Maybe some of this too, you kind of, I don't know, like you feel kind of, you fear judgment for this move, either from like the people who are like that are there where you are now, like say if you are like leaving a job for an example, or there's something about judgment. Let me pull a clarifier on that too. Spirit, what do you mean by that as well in terms of advice? The Hermit. Okay, you need to think about what you want, pile 3. You need to think about what makes you happy, because the Hermit upright is about wisdom internally extracted, not listening to everything around us. It's about what does my soul say? Because a hermit goes in their little cave. They hide in it. They think, and they think, and they think. And the only voice they're hearing in that time is their own. It's not anything outside of the cave. Okay? So I think you might also have a tendency to listen too much to other people and their opinions on this on when you should launch something or when you should do something or how. And so Spirit is saying with the Hermit, go into the cave and listen to your own spirit. Okay, block them out. Okay? I don't care if they run into the cave or they try to get in with a megaphone, metaphorically speaking. Just tell them, I need to listen to myself. This is what I want. Okay? Let me pull one more clarifier too. Like, release the fear of judgment, especially when it comes to, say, like, because that's the other thing too. It could be that pile 3, you fear their judgment if you don't listen to them. Like, oh, they'll be mad at me if I don't listen to their opinion on this. But Spirit is saying this is about you. Okay? Your adventure, your new start, your boat in terms of inheritance, property, windfall, winnings, etc. Okay, you. This is you. Don't overthink it. And then we have, yes, the Four of Pentacles upright. That can mean, too, that you may have a fear of letting go of, like, when you get the winning or the windfall, property, inheritance, etc. There may be a fear of, like, letting go of it in terms of, you know, spending it to get this new journey going, okay? Because the Four of Pentacles is about clutching closely to something. It's holding something, okay? It can also mean keeping something to yourself more as well, because you see here in this picture, he's literally, like, clutching the pentacles very closely, like, oh, this is mine, you know? You may, too, need to just reserve more of your energy and resources for yourself, okay? I think that's part of it, too. You may fear judgment from other people, because maybe they'll want you to share this winning thing, inheritance, windfall, etc., property, whatever it might be. But Spirit is saying, what do you want to do with it, pile 3? This was meant for you. Okay? I mean, if your ideal happy, you know, happiness with this is, you know, a part of what this other people might say to you, then yes, integrate it. But if it's not, think to yourself, just always parse your decisions with this and your overthinking with the question, is this truly what I want deep down? And then separate the wheat from the chaff with, if it's a yes, keep it. If it's a no, throw it out. Okay? Because it's just, I don't know, Spirit just keeps saying this is meant for you. Okay? Don't overthink it, pile 3. This adventure is for you. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of a warning of don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? But, like, you deserve this, pile 3. They're telling me, they're like, you deserve this. So don't act as if you need to cut up pieces of yourself and distribute it to everybody, or, like, your ears, I guess, too. It's kind of morbid. I don't mean literally, right? But, like, and always lend everyone else your ear. Like, go within and ask, what do I want? And that's the answer of how you should take this opportunity, okay? So, beautiful. What's finding its way to your life is, well, a new adventure, that windfall thing we talked about, some sort of inheritance or property, money, something along those lines. Moving away from that pain, your endurance paying off, freeing yourself mentally, too, from either, you know, creative block, mental blocks, things like that, as long as you don't let overthinking get in the way, okay? And listen to yourself more than anyone else, right? Just keep those two things in mind. So, there you go. That was your reading. And I hope, number 1, that you liked it, of course, but that it helped you, number 1. And, of course, that it resonated with your situation as well. And if so, please like the video. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much if you choose to do those things as your reading wraps up here today, pile 3. And as we say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful, very self-directed, very don't overthink it kind of rest of your day or night, okay? And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye.